We're very, very proud to present the new Lamborghini Aventador. We've got a great turnout. Thank you for coming, everybody. I'd like to bring a couple of people up right now. Wolfgang Hoffmann, the president and COO of Lamborghini North America, and Daniele Francello. Daniele, come on. Thank you. Daniele is our area manager and makes everything happen. So then in about a couple of minutes here we're going to introduce the new car. And then I think we've got a short film we'd like to show over here to the right if we can. To my right. Is it your right? Chris? Here we go. We're going to show a short film. Then we're going to introduce the car, and Wolfgang and Daniele are going to say a few words. Then we've got another special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, Lamborghini LP700-4, Lamborghini Aventador. We're going to get a chance to look at this car in a moment, but I'm going to let everybody, Mr. Hoffman here, Wolfgang Hoffman and Daniele Francello, they're going to introduce you to Mr. Balboni. You say Valentino, I don't feel so. Mr. Valentino Balboni has been a race car driver, test car driver for Lamborghini for 40 years.
Can everybody hear me, or do we need a little bit more volume here? Okay, first of all, thank you Graham, thank you JJ for putting up such a great event for the new LP700-4 Aventador. It is a milestone for the company. It is a car that jumps 2 generations. Can we turn up the volume a little bit? I think someone... Hello, can everybody hear me back there? Hello! 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Hello? Where are the sound masters? Okay, a jump of 2 generations. A car almost made entirely out of carbon fiber. The monocoque is the lightest one in the industry, just over 300 pounds. The total weight of the car, dry weight of the car is just 3,400 pounds. Very light for a 12-cylinder super sports car. That's one aspect, lightweight. That's what Lamborghini stands for at the moment, and that's what we will stand for in the future. It's more about power to weight ratio than it is just about pure speed. But when I tell you the top speed of the car, you will say, oh, maybe Wolfgang is a little bit crazy because top speed is still important for us. But it is more about the handling of the car. And there are 5 elements to it. First, there is the carbon fiber monocoque, which makes the car very stiff and very light. Then, of course, there is the heart of the car, the engine, a V12, a complete new engine, 6.5 liters, 700 horsepower, and over 500 foot-pound of torque. Then, of course, there is the all-wheel drive system. The car has a permanent all-wheel drive system that can distribute up to 60% of the torque to the front of the wheels and to the back. And of course, there is a suspension that is race-proven for Formula 1 technology, push-rod suspension. When you later come on stage, you see the dampers and springs are mounted horizontally and not vertically, which also helps us to position the engine lower in the bay, which brings the whole center of gravity down. And then, of course, there is the transmission, which makes that car very, very emotional. It's a 7-speed, manual, automated transmission, very light and very emotional when you shift the car. And all of that package gives us an acceleration of 2.9 seconds from 0 to 62 and below 9 seconds, sorry, from 0 to 124 if you dare. Top speed, 217 miles per hour. I think very impressive figures. But now, let me just ask Valentino a couple of questions. Valentino, you have been with the company for a long time. When did you start?
I started with Lamborghini in 1968, April 1968.
So that was just about when JJ and Graham got rid of their diapers, right?
Well, maybe.
So, in those days when you were testing the cars, and obviously you've been the longest serving super sports car test driver in the industry, when you tested these cars back in those days, there was no proving grounds, there was no super test track. How did you test drive these super fast cars?
Well, those time was good to test the car on the footpath in Bologna and around the country streets in Sant'Agata.
So you were doing 180, 190 miles on a public road?
Well, on those time I would say thanks to no traffic, thanks to no speed restrictions, we could have done, yeah.
Don't get tempted too much. I mean, it's not like that anymore in Italy. But I mean, at what time of the day did you do that? Did you do that during rush hour or?
Well, every time, when it was possible to drive the car, we used to test the car all day long. So, it was not a problem night or late or rush hour. There was no rush at those times.
But Valentino also told me that they had to work often very late at night, obviously, because at 2 o'clock in the morning it was a little bit easier to do these kind of speeds. Valentino, when you started in '68, the Miura was just launched and you worked on that car. Tell me a little bit about the Miura.
Well, the Miura was actually my first car, let's say, car as a test driver. I started as a test driver with one of the last Miura SVs that we built in September 5, 1973.
And with the Miura, also Lamborghini started a kind of a heritage with regards to the colors. What was the first color of the Miura?
We unveiled the Miura in a special orange color, which was chosen by Ferruccio Lamborghini and Nuccio Bertoni.
So the heritage of our colors goes back a long, long time. Now, one last question to you, and when you come on stage later on, you see that nowadays we have rear view cameras that makes it relatively easy for normal human beings like myself to park the car. Back in the days, you didn't have that. How did you reverse the car?
Well, you know, we used to reverse the car sitting on the low sill and hanging out with the car, looking around the edges, and this was the way to park.
That was a way to park a Lamborghini. So if you're there with your older Lamborghinis, just sit on the sill and turn back. With the newer ones, of course, we have a lot of technology in there. Navigation systems, of course, is standard on a car like this now. A rear view camera, top ceramic brakes. You can't compare it, obviously, to the good old days of the 60s, but nevertheless a very fascinating car. One last question. How does that car handle? What do you think?
Well, this is another, you know, huge improvement on drivability. Power, you know, is an excellent compromise. I am very happy with this car. And, you know, I always thought that there was a limit, but the limit is still not there. You know, we always improve, and this is the last result.
Yeah, I can only agree. I drove the car many times myself. It is the best handling super sports car at the moment in this segment. And if you understand a little bit more about our philosophy, all our CEOs are always driving the cars in extreme conditions. And I think nowadays our CEO are much, much better race drivers than in the old days, because he told me Ferruccio wasn't such a good driver. But if I think about our CEO today, Mr. Winkelmann, he's very fast. Also the whole board of the VW group, very, very good race drivers and very fast drivers. They test these cars to the limit, and I think there's nothing better handling than this car. That's what it's all about at Lamborghini, lightweight and super handling, and with the Aventador, we deliver. And that was on the performance side. The design, you judge for yourself. But I think you can see that the inspiration was taken from fighter jets, and you can see that from every angle. And again, Lamborghini, I think, delivered in a complete holistic approach. When you sit inside the car, you will also see that the interior is inspired by the aviation and by the fighter jet design. It is a complete whole package, and I think that differentiates us from the competitors. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. Enjoy the car, enjoy St. Louis, and I hope the car did not swing tonight.